Hello, good morning. My name is Sally and today I have my lovely model Caroline, who you might recognise as one of the Look Fabulous Forever ambassadors, who has come to be a guinea pig and a model for me today. And the issue that we are discussing and focusing on today is the dilemma of pigmentation. As we age, we get a lot more pigmentation due to aging, due to sun damage, due to physical damage to the skin and hormonal changes. And so it's a problem, it's a very, very, very common problem as we get older. So today we want to sort of talk about, I'm going to do a full makeover on Caroline, but we're going to focus in on using makeup to help with this issue. There are other things you can do, and there are topical ingredients that you can actually apply and serums that you can put onto the skin. Ingredients such as arbutin, niacinamide. You can also use retinoids, fruit acids like glycolic acid. There's all sorts of things that you can use, but all what I would say is you need to persevere with these serums and use them for at least 3 months before you will see any difference. As well as using all of these ingredients, probably the most important thing to do is also to use a high SPF factor every day underneath your makeup. Don't worry, because makeup can help you, and that's what we're going to do today. Caroline has already put her hydration hold serum on, and we've put some moisturiser on, and we've let that sink in, and that's really important before you start on the makeup application. The first product that I'm going to use on Caroline is Smooth Like Silk Face Prime. And this is absolutely, I think, essential if you're going to put foundation on, if you're going to put concealer on, if you're going to try and cover up any pigmentation problems. This will make everything work better. And what it will do is it will smooth out. So let's get a couple of pumps. And I'm just going to pop this all over Caroline's face. And what it does is it will fill in any fine lines and open pores, and that means that when you put your foundation on, it will just go on really smoothly and it will last all day. It won't go patchy. So the next product that I'm going to use is Colour Balance Neutraliser in Peach. So this is a fantastic product for counteracting any sort of purple or brown, so it does work well on under eyes and also darker pigmentation. So you don't need very much. I'm going to just make a little bit. So you can see it is a really peachy colour. So we have one in green as well, and green counteracts redness, but the peach counteracts sort of the bluey brown. So I'm just going to put a little bit on. At this stage it does look a little bit obvious and peachy, but don't panic because we're going to be using foundation and we're going to be using concealer as well. So I'm just going to put a little bit there, and I'm also going to put a little bit just around slightly darker areas that we all have around our eyes. Just a little bit on this side. I think it puts a lot of people off. They think, oh, that's making it look worse, but it's the first stage in the process. So don't be put off. You do need to use concealer as well to really make this work well. And I use my ring finger just to tap around the eye area because it's very, very delicate, this area, so you don't want to drag at all. So I'm going to use the Continuous Cover Foundation in shade 2.5 on Caroline. And the foundation is brilliant because it gives really good coverage but without being cakey. And it's got coconut oil, it's got vitamin E in it. I like to use it with a little bit of primer as well. I take a little bit onto my hand and then add a little bit of primer. And I just find that doing that as well as using the primer first means it goes on really smoothly. So mix the two together, and I'm using my foundation brush number 3. Okay, so I'm now going to pop the foundation on. You can put it on with your fingers, or you can do what I'm doing and putting it on with a brush. If you put it on with fingers, I would still recommend, if you have got the brush, it's really nice to buff it in with the brush. This gives a lovely coverage. And where you've actually put your corrector, you don't want to drag it, so you sort of stipple over it so that you're not taking the corrector into a different area. Don't forget this little bit. I always say don't forget this little bit of your nose. People do. So the next stage in covering up pigmentation is to use the cover to cover concealer. This is a really creamy product, so it's like adding a little bit of extra help to the foundation. A lot of concealers are quite drying. This one isn't. It's also got tea tree in, which is good for redness too. And it's easy to use because it is creamy. So I like to use my concealer brush number 4, and I am just going over the area very gently. This is concealer shade number 2. There's 1, 2 and 3. I sometimes find I need to use a slightly different shade around my eyes. You'll get to know what is the right one for you. And I'm using a stippling action and then just a patting action, so the warmth of your finger just melts the concealer into the foundation so it doesn't look like it's sitting on top. So I'm now putting a little bit into the corner of Caroline's eyes where it's often a little bit sort of bluey, and it will just brighten them, and then again stippling around the eyes, and then again using the tapping action of my ring finger just to melt. And what I sometimes do is I don't put loads of concealer on until I've finished the eye makeup, and then I can go back, clean up the area and put a little bit more concealer on after doing eyes. So it doesn't have to be perfect at this stage, but it creates a little bit of a base. What I'm going to do now is to seal what we have done using the sheer fine translucent powder, which is just, it's translucent, so it has no colour, and it's really, really good. Because it's so fine, it doesn't sit in any lines like some powders do. So if you've particularly covered something, I quite like to use the eyeshadow brush number 7 just to set in a slightly more precise manner rather than just sweeping the powder willy-nilly over the whole face. Which I would normally do, but if I've put something on in a specific way, likewise, just around the eyes, it's quite nice just to put a little bit of powder in a more precise way, just to set the concealer. So there we have the finished look on Caroline. Thank you so much for being such a fantastic model, our ambassador. And so again, just top tips are to really think about using the colour corrector. If you've got sort of discoloration, the peach one is really good. Then go on with the foundation using a stippling action so that you are not dragging it into an area that you don't want. Then use the lovely concealer, because that will really just finish off the coverage, and seal it with the powder. That's really important too. Just using brushes, doing it precisely. And then distracting. As you can see, we've done a lovely eye makeup with the greens, and we've done quite a strong, bold lips, but Caroline can definitely carry them, definitely. And that also just distracts away from any things that she's not very happy with, which there's nothing there that you shouldn't be not happy with. You look beautiful. So thank you so much. And I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, then please comment and like it. And if there's any other dilemmas that you would like us to cover in future videos, then please just pop them in the box below. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.